Candace Owens just dropped what she's calling the most personal and dangerous revelation of her career. And this time, it's not about politics, not about censorship, and not even about Turning Point USA as a movement. It's about what she's now calling the widow's secret. In a shocking late-night livestream titled The Truth About Charlie's Legacy, Candace finally confirmed there are rumors that have haunted the conservative world for months that Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, was allegedly hiding something massive from the public. Something that Candace claims could rewrite how everyone sees Charlie's death, his organization, and the empire built in his name. Her exact words sent chills through her. People have no idea what was really happening behind closed doors. They think Charlie was the face of TPUSA, but he wasn't the only one running it, and he wasn't the one pulling the strings in the end. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Fans were horrified. Former insiders began whispering that Candace had been sitting on a secret so big that the movement had been desperately trying to bury it for over a year. Screenshots, messages, and anonymous tips started pouring in, all pointing toward a hidden relationship, undisclosed power plays, and one shocking truth about what Charlie Kirk never knew before he died. And according to Candace, that secret is why the people closest to him are now panicking, because once this truth comes out, it won't just change reputations, it'll destroy them. For years, Charlie Kirk had been the golden child of the conservative movement. The man who built a student-driven empire out of nothing but conviction and charisma. With his crisp suits, fast-talking intelligence, and boundless energy, he became a political celebrity before he was even 30. And behind every photo, every speech, and every event, there was one constant figure in the background: his wife. Erica Kirk. To most of the world, Erica was the perfect counterpart. Elegant, composed, the embodiment of faith and grace. The couple's social media posts painted a portrait of an inseparable partnership, a union of faith and freedom, as Erica once called it. Together, they were supposed to represent everything wholesome about modern conservatism: love, faith, legacy, and leadership. But according to Candace Owens, that picture was a lie. In her recent broadcast, Candace described a version of events that was far darker, one filled with secrecy, manipulation, and betrayal. She said it all began months before Charlie's death, when internal tensions inside TPUSA started quietly spiraling out of control. Charlie was stressed, she said during her livestream. He told people around him that things didn't feel right. He felt like he wasn't in control anymore. Back then, few understood what he meant. TPUSA was thriving publicly, record donations, sold-out conferences, and millions of social media followers. But Candace revealed that beneath the surface, a power struggle had begun, one that, she says, Erica Kirk orchestrated from behind the scenes. According to her, Erica had started expanding her influence inside TPUSA long before Charlie's passing. She wasn't officially part of the board, but insiders claimed she attended closed-door meetings, handled high-level donor calls, and had private access to TPUSA's confidential documents. People thought she was just helping Charlie, Candace explained. But Erica was quietly rewriting who held the power. Former staffers have since come forward anonymously, describing what they called the shift, a period when Charlie's once democratic leadership style suddenly turned insular and paranoid. New rules appeared out of nowhere. Certain employees were reassigned without explanation. Some even claimed their access to internal financial data was revoked, and that all changes were approved through Erica. She started calling herself Charlie's executive support, but everyone knew what that meant, said one former operations manager. Nothing happened without her approval. For a while, no one questioned it. Erica's image as a faithful wife and grieving partner shielded her from scrutiny. But when Charlie suddenly fell ill, things escalated rapidly. Candace revealed that during his final months, Charlie confided in several close friends that he suspected someone within his inner circle was using his name to secure deals and funnel donor money. She said she didn't believe him at first until she saw what came after his death. The moment Charlie was gone, Erica didn't act like a widow, Candace said sharply. She acted like a CEO who'd been waiting for the chair to be empty. Within 2 weeks of the funeral, Erica allegedly took over control of TPUSA's communications department, donor relations, and financial oversight, despite holding no formal leadership role. She began appearing in meetings once reserved for the board. And according to Candace, staff were told not to question her authority out of respect for Charlie's legacy. People were grieving, Candace said, and she used that grief like a weapon. Then came the first rumor, whispered at private events but never publicly addressed, that Charlie had discovered something before he died. Something he intended to expose but never got the chance to, Candace said. She'd heard that Sam rumor for months but couldn't verify it until recently. I thought it was gossip, she admitted, until someone from the inside sent me the documents. According to her, those documents contained confidential communication logs between Erica and a high-profile donor network, one that allegedly funneled money through TPUSA's shell organizations under the guise of legacy preservation. The records, she said, showed payments labeled spiritual consulting, continuity advisement, and private stewardship. But the most shocking part, many of those payments appeared to have been signed after Charlie's death using his digital signature. It's right there, Candace said, holding up a blurred copy during her stream. Dates that don't match. Signatures that were supposedly his, except he was already gone. She claimed several former TPUSA accountants quietly resigned after those transactions surfaced internally. But NDAs and hush payments kept them from speaking publicly. And that's when Candace dropped the real bombshell. The secret Erica allegedly never wanted the public to know, according to her sources. Charlie Kirk had been preparing to step down as TPUSA's president before his death. He was, she said, burnt out, frustrated, and ready to rebuild something new without certain people involved. He had reportedly told one confidant that he wanted to get back to the grassroots work and away from what he called corporate Christianity. But someone, Candace claimed, convinced him to stay, and that person was Erica. She told him leaving would ruin his image, Candace said. She told him people would lose faith in him. But that wasn't the real reason. The real reason was that if Charlie walked away, she lost control of the machine. Candace's voice broke slightly as she said it. Charlie didn't die, just a husband. He died a man surrounded by lies. She went on to say that Erica's control extended far beyond money, that she had allegedly built a network of influence, connecting TPUSA to faith-based media ventures she personally controlled. Many of those companies, Candace alleged, were quietly absorbing TPUSA contracts under the guise of legacy management. It's genius, she said. She's been cashing in on grief, using his memory to build her brand. And while most of the conservative establishment has stayed silent, insiders have begun to whisper that Candace's story lines up with internal communications dating back to late 2023. But the one detail that's now haunting everyone, the widow's secret, as Candace calls it, is something far more personal. Something even Candace hesitated to say out loud. Charlie trusted her with everything, she said quietly. And she wasn't the person he thought she was. Candace promised she would reveal the full story with proof in her next broadcast, but she warned that when she does, it won't just expose Erica Kirk, it'll expose everyone who helped her, she said. And that list is longer than people think. The live stream ended with her final words echoing like a gunshot through the chat. The widow's secret isn't about love. It's about legacy and the price someone was willing to pay to own it. The internet didn't just react to Candace Owens' revelations, it imploded. Within hours of her stream, hashtag The Widow's Secret and hashtag Charlie Kirk Truth were trending worldwide. Screenshots of Erica Kirk's old posts resurfaced. Photos of her at donor events were dissected. And every facial expression she'd ever made on camera was being analyzed for signs of deceit. But what nobody was ready for was what Candace dropped next, the part of the story she called the proof Charlie never got to show. Just 24 hours after her first video, Candace went live again. This time she wasn't angry or emotional. She was calm, cold, and laser-focused. The broadcast opened with her sitting at a desk covered in papers, tablets, and USB drives. Her voice was low but steady. People told me to stop. They told me I'd ruin my career. But this isn't about my career. It's about a man who was silenced before he could speak. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what he found. Then she opened a folder on her screen titled Charlie's Final Notes. Candace claimed that these files came from a former TPUSA staffer, someone close enough to Charlie to have access to his private emails and calendar before he died. The source, she said, had reached out weeks ago, but only decided to go public after watching Candace's first livestream. The first document she displayed was a series of emails between Charlie and a private legal advisor. The subject line, Urgent Internal Audit Findings. Charlie's email read, "We have a problem. The donor fund doesn't match the account balances. I'm being told it's all reallocation, but none of it was approved by me. I need full records before the next board call, and I don't want Erica to know yet." Candace froze the screen and looked directly at the camera. That's his words. I don't want Erica to know yet. Ask yourself why. Then she opened the next email, a reply from the advisor. Charlie, we've confirmed irregularities. I recommend you step back from all financial authorizations until this is resolved. And yes, I agree. Don't share this with anyone yet. Candace zoomed in on the timestamp, 2 weeks before he died. The chat exploded with messages. Oh my God. She knew Charlie was investigating her, but Candace wasn't done. She switched to another document, a typed memo titled TPUSA's Strategic Transition Plan. The author, Erica Kirk. It outlined a proposed leadership restructure in the event of Charlie's incapacitation or unavailability. Candace read the first paragraph out loud, her voice dripping with disbelief. In the event of an unforeseen leadership vacuum, a temporary committee will assume executive control under my advisory direction. Continuity of mission requires that donor relations, media correspondence, and financial oversight remain under familiar leadership, myself and appointed staff. Candace stopped mid-sentence. She wrote this while he was alive. The chat went berserk. Some viewers called it a coincidence. Others accused Erica of planning to seize control before Charlie's death. Candace just stared into the camera and said, "You tell me what that sounds like." Then came the first major twist. Candace revealed that, according to her source, Charlie had secretly recorded a private meeting between himself, Erica, and 2 senior TPUSA board members, a conversation that took place only 9 days before his passing. The recording, she said, was found on a hard drivel belt for later. Candace played a portion of it live, in the audio. Charlie's voice was clear, calm, but firm. I don't like the direction this is going. There's too much money moving around, and I'm being kept out of conversations I should be in. A man's voice responded, "It's just optics, Charlie." Erica smoothing the transitions. Then came Erica's voice, sharp, defensive, unmistakable. "You don't understand how fragile this is. You built the platform, but you don't know how to sustain it. You make people believe. I make people pay. The room and the recording went silent. You could hear Charlie sigh, then say quietly, "That's not what we agreed on." The clip ended abruptly. Candace stared at the screen, tears welling in her eyes, but her tone defiant. That's who she really was. Not the grieving widow. Not the guardian of Charlie's legacy. She was the architect of the takeover. Within minutes, that one quote, "You make people believe. I make people pay," spread like wildfire across the internet. It became the rallying cry of the scandal. Memes, t-shirts, hashtags. It was everywhere. Even major conservative personalities who had once defended Erica were now distancing themselves. But just as the internet turned against Erica, a counterwave hit. A statement appeared on TPUSA's official website titled "Standing with Erica Kirk." It accused Candace of spreading misinformation and weaponizing grief for personal gain. The statement insisted that Erica had always acted with the highest integrity and that Charlie's death was a tragedy now being exploited for clout. The backlash was immediate. Candace reposted the statement with her own caption, "Funny, they're more upset about me speaking than about what their own founder uncovered." Then she dropped her next bombshell. "I have a witness," according to Candace. A former TPUSA financial analyst, whom she referred to only as Cassandra, had contacted her with first-hand knowledge of the secret fund Erica had allegedly created within TPUSA's financial infrastructure. Cassandra's anonymous testimony, read live on Candace's stream, claimed Erica moved large sums of money under a donor code called E17 Legacy Transfers. When Charlie asked about it, she told us to mark it as faith outreach. I was told to delete email trails and reissue invoices under brand expansion. After Charlie died, the payments doubled. Candace paused after reading it. And here's the part that makes this disgusting. Erica used those funds to create a private media company that she runs out of her home. Guess what it's called? Kirk Legacy Media. The chat froze for a moment, then erupted in shock. Candace showed the company's registration filings on screen. Dated less than a month after Charlie's death. She didn't even wait 30 days, Candace said bitterly. She buried him, then trademarked his name. But the real gut punch came at the end of the stream. Candace revealed a final piece of evidence. A handwritten note Charlie had left in a notebook found by his assistant. In shaky handwriting, the note read, "Something's wrong. Check Erica's files. Legacy isn't what it looks like." Candace ended her stream with those words on screen, her voice cracking just slightly as she said, "He tried to warn us." Then she looked straight into the camera. The widow's secret isn't just about money. It's about power and what happens when love becomes leverage. The next file I show you will end careers. I promise you that. The stream ended. The internet went into overdrive. And as thousands of people waited for her next move, a single question echoed across social media. What did Erica Kirk do? And how far was she willing to go to keep it buried? By the next morning, the entire conservative world was in meltdown. Candace Owens' second live stream had shattered TPUSA's carefully polished image, but the storm was only just beginning. Overnight, anonymous insiders began sending her more files, more screenshots, more proof. Every new leak hinted at something darker, more deliberate. The phrase "the widow's secret" wasn't just a dramatic title anymore. It had become a full-scale investigation. Candace opened her next broadcast with a single sentence that made her viewers' blood run cold. What I'm about to show you doesn't just prove Erica's deception, it changes everything we thought we knew about how Charlie Kirk died. The chat froze. Tens of thousands of people tuned in live. Candace leaned in, her tone razor sharp. "They called me crazy. They said I was exploiting grief, but I told you, this isn't about a scandal. This is about a cover-up." Then, She pulled up a folder on her screen labeled Internal Restricted E. K. These files were given to me by someone inside Tapuza, she explained. Someone who's terrified but done being silent. The first document was a private text exchange between Molis, Erica Kirk, and a top TPUSA board member dated 3 days before Charlie's sudden collapse. Erica, he's not listening anymore. I can't get him to stay quiet. He keeps pushing. The board will have no choice but to move without him. Board member, are you sure he won't back down? Erica, I'm sure. He's ready to walk. That can't happen. The chat exploded. Viewers flooded the comments. This is insane. She knew. She literally said, that can't happen. Candace let the messages pour in before continuing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the final straw. Charlie was trying to walk away. Erica was trying to stop him. Then she switched to an internal TPUSA email chain with the subject line, Emergency. Board Continuity Proposal. The proposal outlined plans for an interim transition period, listing Erica Kirk as executive liaison. The date. The day before Charlie's hospitalization. They had the transition paperwork drafted before the tragedy happened, Candace said flatly. Before he even hit the hospital. The live chat went feral. Candace continued scrolling through the documents, showing that the plan was signed by 3 names, one of whom had mysteriously resigned from TPUSA just 2 months later. Then came the shocking part.
Candace showed a bank record obtained through her anonymous insider, a payment from a private consulting firm to Erica Kirk's Kirk Legacy Media LLC. The payment description read, Confidential Crisis Consultation, March 12th. The amount? $75,000. The date? The morning Charlie Kirk was declared dead. Candace's voice trembled as she read it aloud. They paid her the day he died. The day. He wasn't even buried yet. A heavy silence fell across the live stream. You could almost hear the collective gasp through the screen, but Candace didn't stop there. She pulled up a new slide, a blurry screenshot of what looked like a recording transcript. The file name, Voice Memo Charlie's Phone Archived M4A. This, she said, is the part nobody was supposed to hear. The transcript, allegedly recovered from Charlie's personal phone backup, showed a voice memo recorded the night before his collapse. Charlie's voice. If anything happens to me, make sure Candace knows. She'll understand what I meant by legacy. Candace froze, visibly emotional. I didn't understand what he meant until now. Legacy wasn't just a word. It was the operation Erica was building. She played a short audio clip, a faint, muffled male voice saying, "They're trying to erase me." Then static. The clip lasted only 6 seconds, but the internet exploded. Within hours, hashtags like Charlie tried to warn us and Justice for Charlie were trending globally. Influencers, journalists, even political figures were weighing in. One tweet from a verified insider read, TPUSA is panicking. Staff have been told to wipe old drives. Meetings are being rescheduled. No one's allowed to mention Erica's name. Then came the next shock. The hospital. Records. Candace claimed to have obtained internal documents from the medical center where Charlie was treated before his passing. According to her, the official cause of death had always been reported as cardiac complications, but the leaked reports suggested otherwise. She highlighted a section of the form, her cursor circling the words, toxicology screening, inconclusive, retest declined by family representative. Candace's voice went ice cold. Do you know who the family representative was? Erica. She declined the test. The audience lost it. Comments were flying faster than moderators could handle. She shut down the autopsy. They're hiding something. Candace needs protection. Candace pressed on. I know this sounds unbelievable, she said, but that's why I'm showing you the proof. The death certificate was processed less than 24 hours later, expedited. Do you know how rare that is? Unless someone in power pushes it through, that doesn't happen. She pulled up the certificate. Redacted but unmistakably stamped. Expedited processing. Authorized. And then came the biggest twist of all, the one that left even her fans speechless. Everyone keeps asking me how Erica pulled all this off, Candace said. Well, she didn't do it alone. She paused for dramatic effect. Scrolling to an image on her screen, an old photograph of Erica Kirk standing beside a man in a dark suit at a TPUSA gala. "Meet Jonathan Hale," she said. "Former TPUSA board member, private investor, and, as of 2 weeks ago, the co-owner of Kirk Legacy Media." She zoomed in on the photo. Erica smiling, Jonathan's hand resting subtly on her back. "This man was Charlie's friend," Candace continued. "But what most people don't know is that after Charlie died, Jonathan became Erica's business partner, and possibly something more." Gasps flooded the chat. Candace displayed corporate filings, confirming that Hale had quietly joined the board of her media company within 3 months of Charlie's death, but that wasn't all. Candace then showed an email dated shortly after Charlie's funeral, allegedly written by Hale to another TPUSA executive. "She's ready to step in full-time. The brand's stable. Let's keep the story clean. Focus on legacy, not loss." "That's not just corruption," Candace said, shaking her head. "That's orchestration. The live stream hit over 8 million views in 3 hours. Within minutes, Erica Kirk's Instagram account went private. Jonathan Hale's LinkedIn page vanished, and TPUSA's official statement, released later that night, only made things worse. We are aware of false and malicious claims being circulated by an individual acting in bad faith. Legal action is being taken." Candace reposted it immediately with her now iconic line, "Go ahead. I have more." She ended her broadcast with one final promise. The widow's secret isn't over, because the next file, the one Charlie titled For Candace, will prove beyond a doubt who betrayed him, who profited from it, and why they're still lying to you today. Then she leaned forward and whispered into the mic, "They thought the truth died with him. They were wrong." The screen faded to black, and millions of viewers sat frozen, knowing that if Candace really did have Charlie's final message, the next revelation wouldn't just expose Erica Kirk. It could blow up the entire conservative establishment. The moment Candace Owens' third livestream ended, the internet went from chaos to full-blown hysteria. Within 10 minutes, her phrase, "They thought the truth died with him, they were wrong," was trending in 27 countries. Conservative circles were in shambles, and even mainstream media outlets that had dismissed her earlier claims were now forced to cover the story. Fox News opened with a breaking headline, "Owens alleges Kirk cover-up, questions surround. TPUSA finances and widow's role." CNN's take was predictably snide. "Candace Owens pushes new conspiracy about Charlie Kirk's death." But even their anchors couldn't hide the tension as they replayed clips of her evidence, the leaked emails, the time-stamped audio, the voice memo of Charlie saying, "They're trying to erase me." The country was split in two. Those who believed Candace had finally exposed a political empire built on lies, and those who were convinced she had gone too far and might have just declared war on one of the most powerful networks in American conservative politics. But what truly made this scandal unlike anything before were the reactions from inside the movement itself. The first to speak out was Matt Walsh, who tweeted, "If Candace is lying, prove it. If she's not, TPUS's entire leadership needs to resign. Silence isn't going to work this time." Within hours, Tomi Lahren, Lauren Boebert, and even Megyn Kelly followed with cautious statements, each saying they were disturbed by the evidence and calling for an independent investigation. The response from Turning Point USA, however, was defensive and desperate. TPUSA's official Twitter account released a statement reading, "Ms. Owens' allegations are categorically false. We grieve Charlie's loss, and exploiting his name for clout is beneath contempt." But that only fueled the fire. Candace immediately replied, "If it's false, unseal the financial records. Show the donor transfers. Release the audit Charlie ordered before he died." Her tweet got 1.6 million likes in 4 hours. Meanwhile, the public began digging for themselves. Internet sleuths uncovered that the mysterious Jonathan Hale, Erica's alleged business partner, had scrubbed nearly every trace of his social media presence. His company websites went down, his public speaking videos disappeared, and even his Wikipedia entry was blanked out overnight. Someone leaked what appeared to be internal TPUSA Slack messages where staff were told to avoid all mention of the Owens matter. One chilling line read, "Do not discuss the hospital records under any circumstances." That message became infamous. It was screenshotted, shared, and reposted across every social media platform under the hashtag #DoNotDiscussTheRecords. Even people outside of politics started taking notice. Influencers, podcasters, and even celebrities who had never engaged in conservative discourse began weighing in. Joe Rogan said on his show, "If what she's saying is even half true, this is a full-scale cover-up." And you know what's crazy? Nobody's denying the documents. They're just attacking her personally. Kanye West, who had previously clashed with Candace, posted a cryptic Instagram story. They buried him. They tried to bury her. The truth doesn't stay dead forever. By the third day, major advertisers started quietly withdrawing from TPUSA's upcoming events. Reports surfaced that one of their biggest donors, the Larimore Foundation, had paused all financial contributions pending clarification. An anonymous staffer from within TPUSA told the Daily Beast, "People are panicking. Phones are being confiscated. Erica's not talking to anyone. It's like lockdown mode in the office." Then came the biggest reaction of all, from Charlie Kirk's family, his sister. Natalie Kirk, who had never spoken publicly about his death, broke her silence in a devastating Instagram post.
"My brother was not perfect, but he was honest. And if Candace has evidence of wrongdoing, I hope the truth comes out. Charlie would never have wanted his legacy used to hurt people." That single post broke the internet. Within an hour, it had 1 million likes and thousands of comments, most of them calling on Erica to respond. But Erica didn't post. Instead, her lawyer did. A cold 2-sentence statement appeared on his verified account. "Mrs. Kirk will not be commenting on defamatory allegations made by Ms. Owens. Appropriate legal remedies are being pursued." That was the moment. The tide shifted from scandal to war, because, while TPUSA was trying to play defensa, Candace wasn't backing down, she was doubling down. The day after Erica's legal threat, Candace uploaded a clip titled "The Widow's Secret, Part 4, The Message Charlie Left Me." In it, she claimed she had received a sealed package from a trusted source. Allegedly, something Charlie himself had arranged to be sent to her in the event anything ever happened. She didn't open it on camera. Instead, she held up the envelope, yellowed and creased, with a faint smudge that looked like an old coffee ring. Written on the front in Charlie's handwriting were 4 words: "Give this to Candace." The live stream cut there. Viewers lost their minds. Twitter exploded with predictions about what was inside: a letter, a confession, a flash drive. Maybe even the missing audit Charlie had been assembling. News networks called it the most anticipated reveal in modern political media. Even late-night comedians got in on it. Jimmy Kimmel joked, "Candace Owens is turning conservative politics into Netflix's biggest mystery series." But behind the jokes, tension was boiling. TPUSA insiders started leaking rumors that Erica was in hiding. Paparazzi photos surfaced showing her boarding a private jet in Scottsdale. Others claimed she had fled to Texas, where Hale reportedly owned property. Meanwhile, Candace's supporters flooded TPUSA's phone lines demanding answers. A viral video showed protesters outside one of their headquarters chanting, "Charlie deserves truth." And through it all, Candace stayed silent. For 3 days, she posted nothing. Not a tweet, not a podcast, not a word. Until one night, her YouTube channel suddenly went live, with no warning, no countdown, no title. It was a black screen at first. Then her voice, calm but cold, came through. "I told you this story wasn't about grief. It's about guilt. And tonight, you're going to hear it from him." The chat froze. Tens of thousands joined within seconds. Then the screen flickered. A blurred video appeared, a man sitting at a desk, looking exhausted but alive. Charlie Kirk. The footage looked old, maybe recorded months before his death. He was speaking directly into the camera. "If you're seeing this," he said, "it means I didn't get the chance to tell the truth myself." The audience went silent. There are things happening inside TPUSA that I can't explain yet. Things I thought I could fix. But if I'm gone, you need to look at the files marked E17. They'll tell you everything. The screen froze. Candace single quotes us voice cut back in. I found them. And then she said the 6 words that broke the internet for good. The widow's secret isn't just hers. The screen cut to black dot, and with that, Candace Owens took the scandal from a war of words to a full-blown political detonation. That final, blurred video of Charlie Kirk saying, "If I'm gone, look at the files marked E17" sent the entire world spiraling. In less than an hour, hashtag E17 was trending across every platform: Twitter, TikTok, Telegram, Truth Social, everywhere. People started speculating what E17 meant. Was it a secret account, a donor code, or something hidden inside TPUSA's servers? But Candace didn't give any immediate answers. Instead, she let the suspense fester. Then, 2 nights later, she returned. The live stream opened not with her face, but with the sound of paper rustling and a faint hum in the background. Her voice came through slowly, measured and serious. "Charlie didn't just warn us about corruption," she said. "He left the proof. And tonight, I'm showing you what's inside E17." The camera faded in to show Candace sitting in a dark studio. On the table before her was a thin manila folder marked with red ink, E17. Private. She took a deep breath and opened it. Inside were 3 items: a handwritten note, a USB drive, and a single printed photo. Candace began with the note. She held it up to the camera. "It's in Charlie's handwriting," she said, "and it's dated the night before he died." Her voice quivered as she read, "If anything happens to me, the truth is in the E17 files. Legacy was never mine. It was theirs. Follow the money, follow the faith, and you'll find the betrayal." She paused, staring down at the page as the chat exploded. Thousands of viewers begged her to continue. Candace then picked up the printed photo and turned it toward the lens. It showed Charlie and Erica at a donor event, smiling arm in arm. But standing just behind them, almost hidden in the shadows, was Jonathan Hale, Kay's alleged partner. This picture was taken 6 weeks before Charlie's death, Candace explained. And according to metadata, it wasn't taken by event photographers. It was taken on Charlie's phone. Her meaning was clear. He'd known something was off. Then she plugged in the USB drive. The screen flickered for a moment before revealing a folder tree filled with dozens of files labeled legacy proposals, donor, transfers, and private correspondence. Candace clicked one labeled ec_confidential_meeting_notes.pdf. The document was a transcript, one she said was taken from a recorded board meeting weeks before Charlie's death. She read from it slowly, her voice heavy with disbelief. "Erica, we can't risk him pulling out now. The board will collapse. Jonathan, then we need to control the narrative. Erica, Candace is too close to him. She asked questions. Jonathan, we'll handle her too." Candace froze. "They were talking about me," she whispered. "They knew I was starting to ask questions." The entire live chat exploded with panic, thousands of comments racing by every second. Some begged her to stop reading for her own safety. Others demanded she release every file. Candace didn't stop. She scrolled down to the next section of the transcript, the part labeled contingency plan. "Erica, in the event of his passing, we'll move quickly. Donors will expect stability. Kirk Legacy Media becomes the face of continuation. Jonathan, and what about the audit? Erica, it never existed. We'll say it was grief-induced confusion." Candace slammed her hand against the table. "They planned to erase him before he was even gone," she shouted. They gaslighted the man who built everything. And then they used his name to clean up their mess. She took a shaky breath, visibly struggling to keep composure. "I'm sorry, guys," she whispered. "I told myself I wouldn't cry on this one." For a long moment, she said nothing, the silence heavier than any words. Then she looked back into the camera. "There's one last thing on this drive. I didn't know whether to show it, but I think Charlie wanted me to." She double-clicked a file-labeled video _confession_1.mov. The screen went black for a few seconds before showing what looked like a private home office. Erica Kirk appeared on camera, sitting in front of her laptop, speaking into a phone. Her tone was calm but cold. "No one will question it," she said. "Grief buys silence. They'll think I'm carrying his mission. By the time they realize, it'll be too late." The video ended abruptly. Candace didn't move. She just stared into the camera as the comments section went insane, screaming, crying, demanding arrests. "You heard it," Xu said quietly. "The widow's secret isn't Trumer anymore. It's reality. And now the entire world knows it." But before she could say anything else, her screen flickered once, twice, then the stream cut out completely. Within minutes, Candace's channel was gone. Her YouTube page displayed an error message. "This account has been terminated for violating community guidelines." Her Twitter, Instagram, and even her podcast feeds followed, wiped clean as if she'd never existed. That's when the panic turned to hysteria. Fans flooded Reddit and Telegram, posting fragments of what they'd recorded before the stream disappeared. People started reporting strange errors when trying to upload her clips. Files would corrupt mid-sob, or simply vanish from their devices. Then, just before midnight, a strange message appeared on Candace's Telegram backup channel, one she hadn't used in months. It read, "They think it's over. It's not. Check the envelope." Attached was a single image, the yellowed package Charlie had addressed to her. Except now, it was open. Inside, visible under the flap, was a small card with the number 2. Beneath it, 3 words written in pen. "There's another letter." And just like that, everything went silent. No one has seen or heard from Candace Owens since that night. Erica Kirk has not appeared publicly. TPUSA has gone completely offline, canceling all events for reorganization. And somewhere, in an undisclosed place, people whisper that a second envelope, letter 2, still exists, because according to the last timestamp on Charlie Kirk's recovered files, one final recording remains. It's titled Legacy Truth Final Cut, and the last line of his note reads, "Play it when the world's ready." But if Candace really did find that second letter, then maybe, just maybe, the world's about to hear it. So now the question isn't whether Candace Owens told the truth, it's how much of it we were ever meant to know. If Charlie Kirk really foresaw this conspiracy, if he really documented what Erica and her circle were planning, then the widow's secret is no longer a theory, it's a ticking time bomb. Do you think Charlie's death was truly natural? Or did he die knowing too much about the empire built under his name? And what about Candace? Do you believe she's in hiding, or was she silenced before she could reveal the rest? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me what you think letter to really contains a confession, a final goodbye, or something even darker. Make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on all notifications, because if that letter ever surfaces, it won't just change the story, it'll rewrite the entire legacy of an empire. And when the next leak drops, when Legacy Truth Final Cut finally sees the light, the question won't be who built TPUSA, it'll be who buried it. Stay alert. Stay awake, because in Candace Owens' own words, the truth never dies. It just waits for someone brave enough to finish the story.